All right, we're getting ready to seal our colorful medallion. Looks great. It's a combination of acid stains combined with water-based dyes. What we're going to seal it with is a spray-down solventated or solvent-based acrylic. Now, specific to micro toppings, depending on the solids content of your sealer, and certainly check with your manufacturers to make sure there's no compatibility issues, we like to thin our first coat with a fast flashing solvent, with the logic being we want the sealer to hit the surface and dry quickly. I've heard of disasters of people, number one, putting on their solvent-based acrylics too thick or thinning it with a very slow flashing solvent. The longer that sealer sits on there, it could actually degrade and start to dissolve the polymer that's in these resinous materials. So check with the manufacturers of your overlay supplier, because you don't want sealers that takes a long time to dry. You want your sealers to flash off quickly, and that's why when you're working with acrylics, thin is in. You don't want to flood on sealers or roll it real thick, because if it sits on that surface too long, it could degrade and break down the polymers that are in the overlay itself. Now, one last safety tip, make certain, which I've already done, make certain that all of your components are screwed tightly here onto all of the threads. I've heard horror stories of applicators pumping the sprayer up only to find out that they didn't tighten this down, and the sealer, the attachments blow off and spray sealer in your eyes and all over you. So you really have to check everything and be aware of your surrounding areas. Now you'll notice all of a sudden we have a beautiful color coming back. You notice the light mist. When I'm spraying, I'll also lock the trigger like this, so you can see here, so I can concentrate on the actual spraying. Now I come right back over into the bucket, unlock the trigger. That's how quick and simple it can be when using these types of products. Now, check with your manufacturer, find out what their dry times are for recoating, and typically, depending on the conditions, it's anywhere from 2 to 4 hours is what they usually will recommend, depending on the solids and what it is you're spraying. So what we would do is mist on a second coat, since it's thinned down a little bit, let that dry overnight. And my preference is to come back with like a sanded tile grout and fill all these decorative score joints with the sanded tile grout, let that dry, mist over the top of that to seal the grout off with a third coat, and then once that was dry, put your floor wax or your floor finish, turn your project over to your client, and I can pretty much guarantee they'll be real satisfied with your work.